Like I always needed to have some kind of best friend, like to have my male soulmate. To a point I eventually identified as gay. I didn't know anymore if it was friendship or if it was love. They would find me cute, not in a gay way. They would find me like a cute boy because I was a man child. I didn't see it for what it was. What comes with that, I believe, is hate. Covertly. Eventually even became some sort of a trans fantasy where I would love that they would marry me, that I could become their wife, the woman of their dreams, you know? Hello, I am pissed off today. I woke up pissed off, and so I want to make this video about brotherhood. This is actually the topic of this quarter's module from the Path of Manliness course that I am attending with Paul, which is held by Paul Lloyd Robson, and it's how to become greater and greater at being a man by being willing to take up the walls, uh, the four main walls of man, which are son, brother, husband, and father. And we started off with brother and with brotherhood. And well, this is something that is dear to me for many reasons. Because first I was like I always needed to have some kind of best friend, like to have my male soulmate, and to a point where if you're new to my content and my channel, maybe you might be a bit surprised by that, but uh, to a point I eventually identified as gay because I was feeling such strong feelings for this best friend that I needed to have always. I didn't know anymore if it was friendship or if it was love. And so, yeah, when I hit puberty, because of other factors, I started to tell myself that story. And so, this relationships with this best friend I would always have and grow really close to, they took a whole other level. I would be so fond of my best friend. Uh, always, I needed the closeness, and I guess I needed it in a way that eventually wasn't healthy. It was codependence. I was willing to get so close. I needed to be closer. I always needed more attention, more, more signs that they cared as much as me or there was something special. And I guess I was always getting into these kinds of relationships with people who would like indulge this unhealthy behavior without really feeling the same, but still they would give it to me, in some kind of, yeah, I believe pity was the thing. Like there was actually, they would find me cute, not in a gay way. They would find me like a cute boy that isn't a grown up man. And so they would give me that in a way that you give a child, you know, uh, uh, a tap on the shoulder. And I didn't see it for a long time because because I was a man child. I didn't see it for what it was. I didn't see that the involvement, it was not the same. That maybe they were, yes, tempted as well uh, by that closeness, but for different reasons. there were people always different than me, and I guess they saw something in me each time that they didn't have, and I saw something that they thought they didn't have, and I saw something in them that I thought I didn't have. And to make it really basic and simple, and maybe too simple and basic, but on a psychological level, I believe I like who I was for this man every time is some like is the boy they think that they would have to be to actually uh, receive the love of their mother that they needed to. Uh, but they couldn't because, yeah, they would be crushed, I believe, if they were like me with a mother like they had. And me, on the contrary, I was seeing in them the boy I thought I needed to be in order to finally feel like I was worth my father's consideration and admiration. And but yeah, my father was such a father that I could never have been this kind of boy. And so it was this interaction which, on the surface level, we would really, yeah, get close from one another because it's like, ah, you're giving to me something I can't build on my own because of my family situation. Obviously, this is on a subconscious level that this is said. Uh, but what comes with that, I believe, is hate. Covertly, we hate one another for having what the other like for yeah, we hate the other one for having what we think, for being what we think we can be ourselves, and this is killing us. And so we hate each other at the same time that we are so fond of each other. Like it's like at the end of the day you want to own what you can't be. And my sexual attraction, my same-sex attraction, it was also about that when it comes to these relationships. It was like I was, I eventually felt like I was such in love with this man. Uh, I eventually felt like I was such in love with this man, uh, and at the same time, like I wanted to be loved. Uh, it eventually even became some sort of a trance fantasy where I would love that they would marry me, that I could become their wife, the woman of their dreams, you know? That's so weird to me today, but it was really real at the time. I was, but covertly, behind this trance, nice looking fantasy, uh, what I wanted over them was power. I wanted to finally own what I couldn't be, what I thought I couldn't be. Uh, the masculinity in them that I was seeing, uh, the fact that everyone loved them, like yeah, the they were man enough in a way maybe that I even overemphasized, but in a way that I think I couldn't be, and so I wanted to own. And I believe they wanted to own me, but in another way. I guess they were seeing my own limitations, my own sins, and because of that, and because of the fact that I was as well having like, for example, relationships with other women, which were platonic in my case, but that was like this kind of yeah, sort of feminine and platonic attraction to women that I had. It was really attracting to women, and so women would easily starting to have some sort of feelings and also wanting to get to have what they couldn't get with me, you know. And so that was, I believe that was something as well that my so-called best friends every time uh, they saw and they desired. I uh, I also, yeah, always displayed some sort of leadership abilities, uh, visionary, like I had some sort of vision and the ability to share it with people. And I believe that's what they also desired in me. Or in the most recent case, they saw a potential competitor that would take over their sphere of influence, especially over women, but not only. And so they didn't want that to happen. Uh, and so, in their own way, what I was saying is that they wanted as well to own me, but in another way, in a covert way, in a, yeah, it was more about I see what you're trying to do, but there is a misunderstanding about that, what I was trying to do. And I am manipulating you. I am playing with your weaknesses. And so I own you. As I can tell, you're willing to own me, but I get there is a big misunderstanding that I need to understand. And so that's why I'm making this video today, because I am not surrendering. I am fighting for these relationships of brotherhood because they are so important. And of course, you will, of course, that's one of the things we see in the Path of Manliness course. In all brotherhood, there is collaboration and competition at the same time. Um, and which means there is love and there is also some kind of hate that you need to manage that happens between men. And it's inevitable. And especially when women are around, uh, there is going to be this kind of of games being played between men. And what matters is that they are played fairly. It's not like it's not going to happen. It cannot not happen. That's who we are. That's part of who we are. We are sinners, and as men, we have also masculine sins. And I believe like this competition factor is kind of a sinful thing. It can, at least there is a constant temptation for it to become sinful. There is healthy competition, but it's healthy competition is precisely the transcending of 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 this temptation to see the other man as an enemy rather than a brother. And so, yeah, I'm pissed off at my brother right now, who I don't think want to see me as such, as much as I want to. But what has changed is that I don't need him to become my male soulmate anymore. And that's something I've noticed. As soon as I met him, I could see the potential of me, um, yeah, having great affinity with him. And I was longing for that quite early, but not in the same way I had before, because I was already in a process of transformation where I grew a lot, where I grew out of my gay and trans fantasies. And so, yeah, I knew I wasn't going to get into the same trap than before with this man. It always felt like it. But it doesn't mean like I still wanted the real brotherhood thing. Like this man where I've seen the worst, uh, he's seen the worst of me. We went to the other side, okay? And now we're like, okay, I know you, you know me. You know what's a little dark in the bottom of my heart, and you know too. And so we can actually build an alliance on this awareness, sanctified alliance, spiritual alliance, as brothers in spirit, and actually competes in the number and the magnitude of the ways we can serve one another and collaborate and the way in the number and magnitude of the ways we can collaborate to actually serve community, family, to serve God, basically.